Good news, everyone. We got a replacement in short notice as well. So I've already drilled a bigger hole for our sensor, and we've also got a relay for the indicators now. So let's first of all get this fitted. Slide that lever on, put it roughly in place. Right, our sensor will just slot in there. There we go. I'll have to put a bit of glue in there. But it seems to be holding okay. Let's put our cable in. Just a bit of the cable housing in the way, stopping it getting on. Just need to tighten up that cable a bit. And let's just have a look. That works. That's that done. I can throttle back on. At least that's a switch all sorted now. Right, let's get this relay fitted. Right, here's our old relay. And our new one. Let's just plug it in for now. Right, here we go. Bit of a delay, but we're back in business. Really stubborn to get the new lens out, so I've just used a little bike spoke. Just feed that in there, because otherwise if you start using screwdrivers and stuff to prise it in and out, you're going to break it. Don't look the strongest of plastic. Well, that's loose in there, isn't it? No one won't like that. Why is that so loose? Cheap shit. No, it's not holding that bulb, look. What I've had to do in the meantime, just underneath the bulb, because it's come away from this bracket, I just put a rubber bung underneath, so it's just holding it in place a bit better until hopefully Yambits send me a replacement. As you've seen, I've only just took it out the packet. It's not like I've used it at all. That's better. Okay, bulb's changed. Let's get them installed. Just looking at the bike, I think there's supposed to be a couple of brackets before these, because these go on, they don't just directly fit on. There's a couple of brackets. These are the brackets that I was on about, but I'm pretty sure these are for the DTR that I've got, but they'll actually do for now. So I'll just mount that there and we'll try it, see how it sits. I know they are supposed to be the other way, but that notch in the way don't line up as it should. What's going on there? I've got the wrong size bolt. Yes, you have. Right, that's the right size bolt. Bit of a beast of a bolt. Oh, the thread's a bit shite. Oh, there we go. Work through it. Right. Let's have a look how my indicator sits. I think what it is, there's supposed to be a rack there and the indicators fit off the rack. But like a few other things on this bike, it's going to be time before you can get, before one pops up for sale. So you have to wait, I'm afraid. I mean, the parts for this bike have been expensive for a while, but since COVID, a lot of the stuff's unbuyable. This panel alone, this rear mudguard, is on eBay. Fair enough, it's mint and it's in much better condition than mine, but it's on for 180. 180 quid, and it's because they're so rare. That'll do it. Feed them wires up here. And I'll go inside under the seat and we'll plug them in a minute. I think they're supposed to clip into this little slot here. There we go. Not bad. I'll do the other side and then we'll get it all plugged in and see if it's actually working. Let's see if I've wired them up properly. I only did. Another job done. I need to obviously tidy these wires up, get them tucked away, and I think next we'll move on to our rear brake, get that all fitted. And I've cleaned it up. There's our little spring spacer, the locking nut, and of course our foot lever. And I'll get it all fitted, make sure it's all to shape. So as you can see, this is an S shape. It's all over the place, but if it actually lines up where it should, then it'll just stay like that. Might have to bend that thread straight, but that's the one that came off it. So let me get the seat back on, tidy them wires up, and we'll move on to the brake. Okay, let's get this brake put in. got all my bits that I need. I'm prepared, which is unlike me. Just put a bit of grease in there where it swivels on there. There we go. Right, so just on the end of that, we've got our little circlip. There we go. And that'll just stop it coming off. Right, now we need our rod, which should be that way. We've got a little washer and a pin. And then a new split pin down for the back. Which I will shorten down. Okay, let's move on to the other end. Look how dusty it is. Let's put a bit of grease on the thread. We've got our bar in the middle. And feed our bar through somehow. So we might have to just manipulate that bar down a bit. There we go. Put our nut on. Okay. Right. So that's that, which is looking fairly decent. We have got a stopper that's needed. The little bolt that was in it was that. I'm pretty sure that's not the right thing. What I'll do, I'll get myself a bolt just so we can have a stopper there to stop obviously the brake coming up too far. So I'll just source out one of them. Okay, so the brake's all on. Got our stopper in place. Just got to trim down that pin and wrap that over. We can get our switch, our brake switch on. Put that little spring in there. Hook that onto our lever. That's it. And put that in its clamp. There we go. Put our locking nut on the bottom. Okay. We just need to test that now, so when we press our brake, does our light come on? just for the front brake, but not the back. Just checking the wiring for that switch, and must have just been a slightly loose connection. So we're now good to go. Another job done. What I do need to do as well, there's supposed to be some kind of like roof for the battery here that screws into that bolt, which is missing, and that will be an MOT failure if that's wobbling around everywhere. So I need to come up with something, just some kind of bracket off that bit there to hook our little battery strap on. We need to top up our coolant reservoir as well. But we're getting there. We are getting there. I've got the battery secured properly now, so I've got a little bracket mounted, and the strap there just clips into there, just as a temporary measure, just to hold it in place. So that'll pass the MOT. Our passenger pegs I'm going to leave off, but I'll clean these threads up, put a couple of bolts in, and just take them with me, just in case I do have to put those on for the MOT. These are the passenger foot pegs. I don't want to clean all those up and put them on because they're just not going to stay on, so I'll take them with me just in case. I've got a set of bolts there all cleaned up, ready to go on, and this is our cable guide for the front brake cable and the speedometer as well, not speedometer, the tachometer, so we can attach that as well. What else have we got left to do? So we've got our foot pegs to put on, the side casings, bit of cable tie work, and just then check over every single nut and bolt, just making sure that it's all safe, ready for the morning. Just mounting the horn, which I'll be honest, I totally forgot all about. Right, let's get our foot peg on. Our spring goes up there. Ah, there we go. Just got to push it on. And then a no split pin. Okie doke. Well, I'll get the other side done, and then we'll move on to the next bit. Still got to paint all this brake linkage. that might. Not too bad actually. I think I'm happy with it. I've just installed the cable guide there for the front brake and also the speedo, so that's all in place now where it should be. We're not far off now, guys. We're not far off at all. Well, we never quite made it. We never made it to the end of the street, to be honest. So basically, the bike had no power, so it was just ticking over and running, and but it just wasn't going anywhere. It was just like revving and nothing was happening, like the clutch was slipping. What I think's happened is when I've used gasket maker on the as a sealant for on the reed port, I had the original gasket off the head, but in between the reed and that, like where your carb sits, the sort of rubber shroud thing, I had some sealant in there, gasket maker, and when petrol's gone through, it's just took it away because I found gasket maker on the spark plug. So it ain't sealed, it ain't seated properly, so there just wasn't enough time in the end to sort it before the MOT, so I had to cancel it. So I'm gonna get some gasket just for that bit, or even replace the rubber shroud piece itself. Maybe there's a sort of a crack in that as well, because they do perish over time. I can see a few little cracks on the outside, but
It doesn't look like there's anything on the inside. It's either that or it's that and something else, you know. Can't think what else it can be, because it's been rebuilt. You can't, it's just really strange. What makes me think it is that sealant is, it was working all right when I first done it. It was absolutely fine, flying up and down. As you see on the intro, you see me whizzing up and down past the house. That's when it was working fine. And I think over time the petrol in the reed section has just ate away and destroyed the gasket maker. So I wasn't aware that you shouldn't use that on that part. But what's confusing is there's not a gasket there usually anyway. It's just like, it's rubber mounted to the metal, and it just sort of squishes, and that rubber just creates the seal, so that it could be the fact that there's air getting through there and it's just not doing its job anymore. So I might have to get a price on a new one of them, or try the cheaper option first, which is using a paper gasket. But yeah, I just thought I'd let you know the MOT didn't go, and we won't give up on it. We'll find the problem and go again. But it's going to be a fair few weeks now before I can get a chance to book it all and go for it again. Thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.